Islam to you, my Moorish brothers and sisters. Greetings to you, my Aboriginal brothers and sisters, Aboriginal, Indigenous brothers and sisters. This is Dr. Matthews-Bey coming to you live on Dr. Matthews-Bey Unfiltered. Uh, Dr. Matthews-Bey Unfiltered is a Aboriginal, some people may say Black owned, but it's Aboriginal owned channel here on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. So as the GMS Live, Voice of Guyana online radio station is an Aboriginal owned online radio station. Dr. Matthews Bay Unfiltered cannot proceed without your contribution to make this work, not only to represent you, but to constantly bring the information as it is. And to keep on doing that, it will need your contribution. And we are looking for contributions in the sum of, let us say, $10, $20. We want to raise at least $3,000 by time now and the ending of this month. We're looking to at least raise about 3,000. When I mean $3,000, I mean 3,000 US dollars, either at 10 or $20 per contribution. You can contact me on the numbers 611-6575. It is also a MMG number that you can either send an MMO money order, or you can send an MMG to the app. We'll be able to receive that. And I think that how it works, it's a local thing, but I don't know how it works, especially if you can, because what happens, I am, I'm still blocked by uh, MoneyGram and also, what's the other one? Oh, brother, I'm trying to remember Western Union. But I'm still blocked by those entities. But you can contact me and I'll be able to inform you how you can get that done on 611-6575 only by WhatsApp. Please remember, Dr. Matthews Bay Unfiltered, it's a platform in which the news comes to you as it is direct. And I'm not going to waste time with it. I'm going to give you it as plain as possible. I'm not going to be from the bush with it either. This afternoon, it's not going to be a long afternoon for you. I'm going to use up at least half an hour, 45 minutes. I want to get back to this completely because some people are really don't comprehend what's going on. If you notice, for the past couple of days, every time I come on, I will flash this information to you, right? To those who are looking, right? And I will talk about the Moorish High Science Temple. I will talk about the Moors and our Prophet Noble Juali, who would have secured what you would have called the trust of all the Americas for the Aboriginal indigenous persons. We would have spoken at length about us being here before anyone. As a matter of fact, that's what the name Aboriginal indigenous means. It means the first people. So coming to this, and before I get to that, I'm having a serious problem. One of the problems is that people feel that some persons would have felt that I am I'm pushing a narrative because I have an agenda. Maybe your narrative about me may be wrong. I may be doing the things that you said that I'm doing, pushing a narrative indeed. But what is the narrative? It's a narrative of liberation. That's the narrative of freeing thyself. That's the narrative I'm pushing. My agenda is to make you interdependent of the system because just now you get to comprehend how bad the system is. It's already shown, to those who would be looking from the continent of North America in the corporation of the United States would have realized that there's this woke theory that the politicians over there don't want you guys to know about it. You can imagine these slave owners want they're telling us that the only person to teach or to show us about us are them. We can't tell each other about us. The ones who the slave owners, the high society, uh, present the slave owners are trying to tell you that they're the better ones to teach us about us. We can't teach ourselves about ourselves. So are the ones here in the corporation of Bay. You know, we were looking at last month, which was supposed to be Black History Month, or supposed to be the month of Aboriginal studies, and we wanted to talk about Fox Burnham. And the government don't want you to talk about Fox Burnham. They don't want you to feel that he's no historical value. John Joe sat there and talk about us want to talk about Fox Burnham. He's an autocratic terrorist. That's what John Joe is about. As a matter of fact, he is a terrorist. Because as long as you want to suppress the history of a people, and one of the main ones is Mr. Forbes, Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham, it is because you don't want us to teach about us. Who's better to teach us about us? I wouldn't ask somebody who came across the Atlantic Ocean to teach us about us. Jagdio's foreparents came all the way from Hindustan. How can he teach? How can he teach about us? You see how they're mixing the school system of the curriculum. You realize it that they did it in 23 years and now they start again because the woke theory mustn't be taught. So what I'm doing here on the Dr. Matthews-Bey show must not be taught either. You must not be liberated about the truth of yourself. It must not work. It must not work at all. They don't want you to allow that to work. They don't want you to ask questions. Well, this is what I want. Jagdeo spent 12 years of his presidency murdering us. A young lady said to me in our walkabout this week for the PNC or APNU local government election. To those who are looking, yes, it's just a reminder that I, Noble Gavin Matthews-Bey, am running for proportional representative as a candidate in the local government elections in constituency 5. The young lady said to me that I'm pushing a theory that I want to instill some kind of fear to drive people to vote for the PNC or for the APN. And I was listening to her and I kind of comprehend where she's coming from. But I would like to say to her, at that time, what I was talking about, I was 15 years older than her. So then she would have been around, let us say, 10, 11. She wouldn't have gotten the idea of how things were in that time. Maybe, but hadn't the idea. Well, I can tell her, and I can tell most people, I've lived through the time from 2000 to 2010. I've lived through that time. I have seen my colleagues who were policemen. Every single day they're turning up in the streets, their bodies all over the place. A policeman shot and killed. I've seen my young brothers, friends, uncles, men who were husbands and family men turned up dead. I've opened the papers every single morning and someone dead. I've I had the opportunity not only to witness but be alive in a time when they had the Lusitano massacre, when they had the Bartica massacre, the Linden massacre, the 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 Agricola massacre, the Lindo Creek murders. I had the opportunity to live through that time. I've seen the destruction. I've seen what my people suffered. I had that opportunity. 1,480 people have died. 1,480 people who have died have disappeared. And up to now, no one has been brought to justice for those gruesome ethnic cleansing in this country. 1,400 within a space of 10 years. And then you telling me I must forget about it? Oh no, can't forget about it. I cannot. It's impossible. How can I forget of such a thing? That is a massacre. That is ethnic cleansing. And no one up to this day has brought to justice for those heinous acts. That's an ethnic cleansing. The only person who's responsible for that was the president of the day, Bar Jackie. And then you're holding on to people that you want to charge them for terrorism. You're the first person supposed to be charged with terrorism. You want to charge people for terrorism? Look at yourself, Jackie. When you look into the mirror, look at yourself. Ask yourself that question because you're a terrorist. You presided over the country that time as president. You now are to be held responsible. You're calling people terrorists. You're pushing the police force to charge people for terrorism. I mean, seriously, all those gruesome things that happened under your watch, people are still recovering from such a terrible time in this country. And then you have your house slaves running around talking a lot of nonsense about terrorism and who to be charged. Mm? You to be held responsible. This is not a fear tactic of fear mongering. This is serious business. Because up to now, not a soul, not a soul. You know what's terrorism? You talking about terrorism, talking about protests for terrorism. What about those people in the Lusignan area that dug up the road and burnt it during the election time? What about them? Aren't they terrorists either? You forgot they came out. They protested. They were your people. They dug the road up. They burnt it because you alluded them to such an act. They're supposed to be charged for terrorism. Some of them brandish guns to on local people who are driving going home. They were never charged. I'm looking for those same things. I was I was scouring the internet trying to look for it, just to make sure that I bring it up. For those who are looking at my program and realize all week I spent time to bring up old videos to show people the acts of terror that went on in this country, that went on in the corporation of the acts of terror, real terror too. It wasn't easy, real terror. You know the amazing thing? You had this guy, Two Colors, who went on the social media or on the television and actually claimed it was with this it was with what's his name? Travis Chase. He did a video with him. Two Colors claimed that he shot Mr. the MFK Khan, who had owned the MFK trading, shot him once and like he didn't die, he was to go back to do that, but he claimed that he didn't finish off the job. You know where Two Colors used to work then? He was employed in the Ministry of Tourism. He used to work on the air finale. When they have events, like social events, he used to be there beating the tacit drum. That was his position. Yeah, he worked on the Ministry of Tourism. It was tourism or trade, Ministry of Trade and Tourism. I think that was the ministry. These criminal elements, these factors were employed by the PPP. You had Sean Hines, who come on national television and said the Phantom Squad. Well, nobody, everybody we knew the conclusion because it was Gadwaj who made the made the public disclosure that he had to employ some sort of force to quell the criminal element, the Phantom Squad, the hit squad. We call it organized crime. Businessmen start paying businessmen to hit each other up. Remember that story. You remember the Monday morning, bright and early, the shootout on Regent Street, Got the guy who owned Kishara's Brahmadan or whatever his name, Brahma or Brahmadan Ramadan, running up Regent Street, being kidnapped, bright daylight, early morning, gun action, then suddenly heard that he was released and reversed the crime. You remember the John Carroll story from the US Embassy and whose son was kidnapped, took music nod. Remember all them stories? Who was in government then? I'm trying to figure out. You put Sam Blind to sit down there to talk about elements of the PNC. I mean, you're in charge, you're government, and then you're going to sit there and tell people you don't know who Roger Khan was. You have no idea who was Roger Khan. They haven't changed. They've changed their clothing. But this is the sweetest part. We expect the US to do as they do always, sit down and make deals with criminals. Because look at the people who they're making deals with. Look at the people who they're installing. Look at the de facto regime. Jack Yo's prime minister that got something swinging over his head, sent him he slip his jail. That I'm figuring out that's how they threatened him. Ali, who's president. I'll be honest with you, Jack is not only first vice president or vice president, he's prime minister too. Because this one we got him in fit nothing. Ali got something swinging over his head. So all them got things swinging over their head. This is a disgrace. It is a disgrace. Now you got house slaves who are hunting people down. The dark like me. So dark I look, female complexion in me. On this live, some of them darker than me. They hear more nappy more than me, and they're house slaves. They're giving up information. I don't care who want to give up information about me. You know, I don't care who wants to give up information about me. I don't got no way for run and go, no way for hide. At least I ain't hiding. I don't have no time. They can come. Some wants to, according to one of them, he's not going to expose me. He's not going to expose. I don't know what is he exposing because I have nothing to hide. Or so the threat is. Me got nothing to hide. I said people, I ain't got not a cent to give a soul because I work nowhere. I don't know how I survive, but I survive. I spent all the little that I have trying to represent Kaini. And if you ask me, I will do it again. I prefer fight until everything is being expended, that I have nothing left back. Wake up to fight again. I ain't got properties. I don't have any luxury item like cars and gold, watch, and all these things. Silvers, I don't have those things. One thing I have, it is my interdependence. You can't take that away from me. One thing that I have is knowledge, which is wealth. Too much, it's bountiful, plenty. People prefer throw me in a bucket of tar or a drum of tar to keep me quiet and cover me down. When I talk about fighting the fight, yes, people prefer to do that. Yes, I'm having some struggles. I am. I'm having some struggles with the de facto administration. There's certain things I can't get done, certain business I can't get done because they're trying to choke me off. That's what they're trying to do. And they're using my brothers and sisters to continue to choke me off. It's okay. I'm a fighter. I don't easily surrender. I don't give up that easy either. I'm not the person you think I am. I'm a revolution. That's who I am. Fear, I will not give in to it. I will be energized by it. I will not surrender to it. I will be empowered by it. So whatever you got, just bring it on. This is who I am. Can't change. I even explained to the young lady that I was talking to. I said, did you know I was kidnapped by this de facto administration? She said, no. I said I was arrested twice and kidnapped once on frivolous matters. I said, do you know I experienced all of these things? I don't know how I'm alive till now. I was wondering. They also offered me money. First, they offered 15 million, next, they offered 25 million. I said it on my program, and I refused because I'm not going to sit down and allow and see my people have been trodden upon, demoralized, destabilized. Now they're belittling them because of their ethnicity. Now, you see what went on? Take a good look. Tuesday gone was a holiday, right? You had over 10,000 people, 10,000 people in all boys' tongue celebrating Pagua. Sometimes when I speak things, people will be annoyed because how I speak it. It's a fact. While you're celebrating Pagua, the de facto administration is signing another contract, giving away what belongs to you. Well, they can't give away me own because, believe you me, they're getting papers based upon that. It is already written, sent to them, sent to the different organizations because I'm focused. You're not going to entertain me. Don't bring rum, clothes, and food and gifts to me that I know is going to kill me. I want what is mine, what belongs to me. I know personally lots of people who's sitting down looking at this particular program tonight are seeing a lot of different things based upon my conversation with you. But I want you to comprehend one thing. I, EYE, I, Noble, Gavin Matthews B, will always stand upright and press ahead to matters that concerns as an Aboriginal indigenous people, not as the status of Black, African, colored, Negro. I am not that. That the status belongs to corporation. I am interdependent. That's why they are not. The things that I have gained, they don't want me to teach you those things because they don't want you to know your rights, your inalienable rights, the right to life, liberty, and property. They don't want you to know that you are a living soul, are not a human being, because being is a reference according to the etymology of the word, which was created for being means an animal and human means slave. But we use these things. We talk about violation of human rights and all these things, and they're still violating your rights because they don't know you. They know you don't know the truth. That's why they keep continue violating your rights because animals have no rights. You ever wanted to know that? You're applying to the United Nations, you're applying to the European Union, you're applying to all these different, we call it ABCE countries, and you're saying, oh, they're violating human rights here in the Corporation of Guyana. And people are sitting down and they're looking at you and they're still allowing your rights to be violated because you know what? You're using the wrong terminology. Your identification alone is to tell them, well, you talk about human rights. Well, that means you're an animal. So we keep violating your rights because you don't know who you are. There are two languages, and I want those who are looking at this program this afternoon comprehend these two languages. One of the language that I'm talking about is Latin. Latin is used in the courts for most legal terms, like a term named res judicat. That's a legal term, means it's final, finished. There's no more adjudication above that. Res judicat. Legal language and English language is the language for commerce. There are two languages that they govern you by, the language of Latin and the language of English. Write it down. Don't forget what I say to you this afternoon. Dr. Matthews-Bey say, I say, and what I say is written. It's in what you call Black's Law Dictionary. So you can find these things. Two languages you live by. You live by Latin and you live by English. English, as long as you're part of the system, English is the language of commerce. Like if the police stop you and the police said, produce your driver's license, and you produce your driver's license. The etymology of the word driver means to take goods and services from one place to the next. That's a driver. And as long as you're in the system, you are considered goods and services because that's how they treat that's how they identify you as a slave. You are goods. You're transporting yourself. You just finished working, you're transporting yourself from workplace to home. So you got to produce a license. The car you're driving has to have what you call road services license. And you have to have insurance because remember now, you got to insure the property of the state, which is you. Oh, yes. Because you end up in a car accident today or tomorrow, you die, the insurance policy is covering you. Yes. Especially those who have full coverages. The insurance policy is covering you. So the state got to get back something. Somebody got to get back something. I mean, you don't get most of everything, but somebody got to get back something. So you are a driver because you're considered goods and services. You're a human being. You're not a living soul. And when that goods and services part is finished, you go home, you rest, you get up next morning, you drive again. But for people like me who's not a part of this, who's not goods and services because I don't live by English language, by the language of commerce. Although I speak it, I don't live it because I refuse to be a part of the commerce. That's why I said to them, look, I'm no longer Ghanaian. I'm an Moorish American state citizen. I have the right to freedom to travel, whether land, air, or sea. I have the right to congregate. I have the right to self rule. I have those rights. And how did I gain those rights? Via way of treaty that they know, but they don't want to tell you about those treaties. That's why they can't own land. No corporation own land, but they tell you that they call it, what is the word it is used? Government reserve. They can't own it. Government reserve. The thing is that although these things are happening, I want to be able to teach you the truth. I want you to know the truth. Be able to edify you, not educate you, because the only thing you can educate is an animal, because that's the definition of that. But by no fault of you, I want to leave these with you, these few words that get on to me. The liberation session is already started, where you'll be able to liberate yourself from such gruesome tale of life that you live by in these corporate systems. I know it's hard for you to comprehend, but this is the fact. I am Dr. Matthews-Bey. I said I didn't want to come here long enough, but I want to make sure I spend a short time. I have somewhere to go. And I want to thank you very much for being here with me in this short particular period of time. And nobody have seen me a little while, but I'm here. So stay safe, be careful, sanitize yourself, wear a mask, and don't forget it once you take into public places. This is Dr. Matthews-Bey on the Dr. Matthews-Bey Unfiltered Day. Good evening to you and Cheerios for now.